Welcome to C Talks. I'm your host Sandeep Balu. The guest for today is Ganesan Karuppanaicker, Chief Technology Officer at Birlasoft. Ganesan, welcome to C Talks.
Right, Sandeep, thanks for inviting me. Pleasure to be here.
Wonderful. Great hosting you today, Ganesan. Quick one. You've been part of multiple transformation journey as a leader. What's a philosophy when it comes to driving change within an organization?
Right, Sandeep. Sandeep, we all know that, typical transformation journey requires the combination of the strategic mindset or foresight and very strong operational execution. That is something it is required along with adaptive leadership. My philosophy centers, I would say that one has to have a clear vision and a strong leadership, and along with the continuous learning. There are many learnings as we adopt the latest technologies and the disruptive technologies, and open communication with the stakeholders, and also willingness to challenge the status quo. What I have learned in the last a couple of transformation journey, do not try to dispel beliefs, seek always to establish something new ones. And we use a couple of tools which I can talk about a KJ workshop, coach in country, and also always believe that co-creating the solution with the stakeholders. It is not only just about stating the problem domain, but bring them into part of the solution domain as well. That helps later in the part of the change management. And always it's important to measure the success, because outcome and value delivery is most important for the transformational journey. And last but not the least, it's about a gamification, which is very, very important about, having a leader dashboard, or in terms of awards and rewards and recognition, the people. This is what I believe.
Wonderful. So profound. I think the willingness to change you mentioned is so critical, right? And as a leader, if you can not just talk about problems, but talk about the solution space, bring the people together to solve is the way forward. So thank you so much for that, Ganesan. I think nothing starts without we mentioning AI. So let's jump right into a question on AI, right? So today, every firm wants to become AI first enterprise, right? In your perspective, Ganesan, what should one thing a company should do as part of the AI strategy to succeed?
Right. So I would like to say, as we have seen quite a few, the leaders, matured organization, and some of them are laggards and getting into in terms of adoption of AI. What I see that is a forward enterprise. What actually I have seen the difference is all about putting the AI into their core operations. And also ensuring that it is a part of a decision making across all functions. That I could see that this is actually resulting into data driven culture, and also making it more agile, creating an insight and decision intelligence for across the key personas in the organization, thereby leveraging enhancing the efficiency or drive innovation or coming up with new business models. Correct. I see that while this is all the forward, certain characteristics which I also have observed, these organizations always prioritize the data analysis and data insight rather than experience based or gut feeling based the decision making. And also recognizing that data quality is most important in this particular journey, and putting that AI into the center and leveraging it's every bit of it for the organizational efficiency or coming up with the new models. And all that is all important, but also they look at having a strategic partnership, because all you cannot do it by yourself, but you need to also have a strategic partnership that you need to establish.
Wonderful. I think you brought an important aspect here, which is data driven. Of course, it's a very loosely used term, but today people undermine data engineering task, in the realm of AI, because they think AI is a magic wand and will do the magic. But focusing on data is absolutely essential for AI to succeed. Yeah, wonderful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. So quick one, Ganesan. So talent and culture, right? This is something which I've observed you up close at an event recently where you emphasized on the cultural aspect. Before that, talent. What kind of talent do you believe will be most critical for enterprises in the next 2 to 3 years?
So, what I see that one, while we do have typical data scientists in the analytical AI side of it, with the advent of and also the rapid adoption of the generative AI, and we talk about agentic AI, and it also comes with, the importance of ethical, transparent, and also security, privacy, and aspect of it. What I see that it is a blend of a technical AI expert and understanding of the business and domain and what the problem that can be solved using these technologies, and also like ability to communicate with the stakeholders, translating that into in terms of the domain into a technology to a larger technical team, right? So I see that your roles like a sort of a AI strategist could be, and the ML engineers is always there, but it's more emphasis that comes, and also like a ethics specialist, that is also, which is quite important and how to look at. And now it's not about just a simple product manager, but also AI product manager, that the product manager understands the AI better. That is what I see, that these are all the roles. That is something that I foresee more and more critical to the enterprise.
Wonderful. I think on the AI journey, right? So in fact, everything you mentioned, Ganesan, is largely pivoted towards business, right? I think more than ever, we feel domain specialists will become a lot more relevant than ever before. Right?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Talking about culture, Ganesan, so I've seen you often emphasized that becoming an AI-first organization isn't about technology alone, right? It's about mindset, especially in the current trail of AI innovation. So what cultural shifts do you believe are essential for an enterprise to truly become AI-first or embrace AI?
Yeah, so now we as an enterprise see what is first thing first, it is about creating the culture of data-driven decision. That is something which I see that. And the second thing is, as things are rapidly changing and evolving, and we need to have that culture of continuous learning. And the third thing which I see that is about a very strong collaboration, more than ever. The collaboration between the business and the technology, the folks. This is something which is very important. So understanding, take an example of the technology folks, helping the business team to understand what is Gen AI, what is not, what is analytical AI, what is not. So that helps in terms of the bridging the gap and having that collaboration, identifying the business problem to solve, and that delivers the value and the outcome to the business.
Wonderful. In fact, I think one of the anti-pattern we've seen, Ganesan, when we've spoken to customers is largely technology-led, not business-led. So here, I think the technology handshake with business to make sure the business understand the reality is so critical. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One level deeper, Ganesan. So look, today, every week we have at least 2 models hitting the market, right? Language models, and of course, your effort always will be to use the best, right? Sample the best or use the best intelligent brain available. So how do you decide? In your journey as a CTO, how do you decide which model to use? Is there any prescription for that?
See, it is it's quite disruptive, right? Like, as you said, not only LLMs and SLMs, and then the open source and the closed source, and which one to take, and what each is capable of, what is not, and what is the cost to implement, how to predict the cost of the solution, what is the run cost, what is the build cost, right? But we see that one LLM or SLM that serves all the purpose, right? Depending on the use case. And that is where quite purpose-built SLMs are emerging as well. So what I see that in our labs as well, what we evaluate the language models, whether it's SLM or LLMs, with respect to, say, business alignment. I can quote some of those, correct? In terms of the technical capabilities, what kind of compliance it can, what is the the cost of it, what kind of a support it provides, and also ethical consideration. So all of this aspect of it.
Wonderful.
What is the one thing which we have learned is performance and accuracy. There are claims, there are reality. So what is the pragmatic thing about performance of the model, accuracy of the model? I'm talking about hallucination, correct? And also the adoption popularity, correct? And how versatile it is, how flexible it is. All this, one should look at it, before investing into this LLM or SLMs.
Wonderful. I think you brought in an important aspect of model evaluation, Ganesan, right? So end of the day, you don't care what model it is, but as long as it passes your evaluation, which is business centric, I think that probably makes you the cut, right? Wonderful.
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks for the perspective. Now, switching gears, Ganesan, now you've been CTO at Birlasoft for somebody who is aspiring to become a CTO in this age of AI. What's your advice for them? How do they stay relevant as a CTO in the age of AI?
Yeah, I'm sure that whoever is aspiring or already got into this, they are primarily tech savvy, by which they get into this role. But what is most important is about understanding the business problem and fit those things into it, not force fit, correct? As I said about creating awareness to the business stakeholders about what is GenAI and what is not, correct? That is most important. And also many times we think that we know, but getting into detail of understanding the fundamentals of the AI advancement and ensuring that will help in terms of maintaining high say-do ratio in delivering what outcome to the business. It's very, very important. It's not about just a technology, and you can do a POC, POT, and something like a solution, but how to scale it, correct? What are my company specific business opportunities, correct? And how do I govern the AI and GenAI? How can I balance risk and value creation? Correct. It is you are too much worried about the risk of applying it, or balancing it with the value creation. What are the tech stack implications? Correct. How do we get going with the learn fast and upskilling our talent? And these are something. And last but not least, moving from experiment to execution and build at scale, which is very, very important. What work at the experiment may not be when you really put into the solution at scale. So these are something I would suggest that this is all my learning as well.
No, absolutely. I think you actually gave 4 or 5 aspects. I would say there are key tenets of somebody aspiring to be a CTO. Quickly, this is my last question, Ganesan. I think this is my favorite one as well, right? As Ganesan, what is your superpower?
Right. Superpower for me is, I strongly believe, my core values, which I always call as a 4H. Okay. Honesty, humility, hardworking, and helping others. These are something that I strongly believe I've been following last more than 3 decades. These values, along with the eye for detail and to deliver quality of work, that gives an immense and collective success as a team. That everyone love being part of the team and make it, correct? So we all this is what I feel that I follow. 4H is something my superpower.
Wonderful. 4H, eye for detail, and deliver on the promise. Awesome. Thank you so much, Ganesan. Truly love this conversation. I've seen in person live these values, and it's been my pleasure hosting you this afternoon for the conversation, Ganesan. Take care. Bye-bye.
Once again, thank you for inviting, and it's a pleasure. Thank you.
Wonderful. Bye-bye.